sort of see it as a bit of a travel diary as well, that song. Like, it's a bit cheeky, you know, again, like being a rural Canadian, and you don't grow up thinking that you're gonna one day get to tour and travel the world, you know, so, and my piano player, Lonely, and I have been to many places, and he has really become my partner in crime, my family member, my brother, my bandmate, and he also has an uncanny sense of direction. And we were in Tokyo a couple of years ago, and we hired bikes from Muji, which is sort of a Japanese department store, which ties back to when Lonely and I lived in Paris, and I used to buy all of my stationery from Muji in Place des Vosges, which is sort of this arty-farty little section of Paris that sort of runs between, it's right close to the Rivoli and the Hotel de Ville. So it's a funny little tongue-in-cheek, yeah, of these cities and just being there and traveling, and there's a lot of inside jokes, like the reference to Mr. Shibuya. This, you know, Tokyo subways are filled with men in sharp business suits, and they all look like they're on a similar mission. But this one fella came in with the same regulation business suit, but with an Elvis hairdo, and Lonely had said that was Mr. Shibuya, Mr. Shibuya, and it was just very, very funny.
Oh, I get it now.
You get it now. And also because we were there on a, you know, with a specifically nationalistic, we were there on some Canadian trade mission, cultural trade mission. So we were hanging out at the ambassadorial residence, which in and of itself was an experience, because Canada, unbeknownst to me before I had my trip, has the largest and most exceptional embassy in all of Tokyo. It used to be Australia, but Australia, I guess, had some sort of economic trouble, so they sold their parcel of land. Canada owns 5 acres of beautiful real estate in the center of Tokyo, and has this Victorian mansion filled with Group of Sevens and Emily cars, bought when the painters were alive and selling their work. And for some reason, during the Second War, this building was spared, and it stands today in Tokyo. And I'm telling you, as a Canadian, it'd be easy to be cynical, like, oh, we don't need to own that. But there's, you know, in an economy like, and I'm yakking, this is all useless, but I'm just saying, everybody should go to Tokyo and go to the embassy and be impressed right now, and then listen to my song, and then put it in somebody's stocking. Warhol's Portrait of Gretzky is for me like one of my favorite songs off of Milk. And for me, Wayne Gretzky, who, you know, remains as the greatest hockey player ever to play the game, and for Canadians so swept up in hockey as our sort of national pastime, Wayne Gretzky was a hero to me and all of my friends. And through the 80s, when he played for the Edmonton Oilers, which was an unbeatable team that played a very poetic and beautiful style of hockey, and they were unstoppable. And as a kid, my brother and I collected all the hockey cards, and we worshipped Wayne Gretzky. We had posters of him in our room, and when you're out on the ice or out on the rink on the lake playing hockey, you pretend you're Wayne Gretzky. Everybody on the ice is pretending they're Wayne Gretzky. But what was neat is at the same time, Gretzky was being idolized or depicted in a highly reverent way by Andy Warhol within the same few years that I was idolizing Wayne Gretzky. But Andy Warhol's lithographs of Gretzky are far more homoerotic. But what's so funny is that the two of us were looking at Gretzky with, you know, with batting eyelashes at the same time, but for very, very different reasons. And I just think it's hilarious. I just think it's hilarious that as a kid I didn't know that that Warhol painted Gretzky. I didn't find that out until as an adult. And it's so pink and it's so flowy, and Gretzky's mullet looks so feminine, and it's hilarious. It's a funny, I guess that's, for me, it's what I find fascinating about culture, is how it's envisioned and how it's appropriated, and how different generations can see the same decade in very different ways. He married a Playboy model. He didn't marry a Spice Girl, so he didn't have the dual power of of massive public attention like Beckham did.
He got off easy.
He got off easy.